Everyone, it is Maree here from Skeins, and I know it's been a couple of weeks since I have seen you, and that is because I have had Knit August Nights, which was here just over a week ago. It was held here in Napier, and we had over 300 people from all around the world, New Zealand, Australia, the USA, all here for Knit August Nights, and it really was a tremendous weekend. And I got to catch up with so many of you, and it was fun. It was exhausting. I was absolutely shattered, but it was so much fun at the same time. So it was so good to see you, and many of you made trips over to us to see us at the mill as well, and kept the team really, really busy, and picked up loads of bargains. We had a lot of special little bits and pieces just for you here in store last weekend. So if you're one of the lucky ones, whether you were here for Can or you actually were one of the locals that just popped down and checked out some of those specials, well done, because there was some really, really good stuff to be had. Also, the market on Sunday at East Pier was amazing. My word, I don't think I've ever seen it that busy, ever. It was just, there were so many people that came through, and there was so much yarn. I saw lots of very happy people, loads and armfuls of yarn, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was completely amazing. So if you think you want to be part of Knit August Nights for next year, the dates have actually been set for 2020, which are the 27th to the 30th of August. So get your annual leave forms in now. If you need to book accommodation, you might want to actually do that, because I know East Pier, the Crown and Navigate are all very heavy on the accommodation already, so you need to make sure you get that accommodation nice and early. And yeah, tickets go on sale as always 1st of May at 10 a.m, but I thought I would give you those dates now. So they're the 27th to the 30th of August 2020 for Can next year. Don't have a lineup just as yet. I'm still recovering from this year, but I will be getting that really soon. My camera's just gone like this, I've noticed. Look at that. Woo! It's a bit like how I'm feeling at the moment. Woohoo! You know, had my first day off actually over the weekend and for 18 days. Hit the wall on Friday. If anyone knows me, or yes, I had lost a little fur baby on the weekend, and I had to go to ground, as it were. Anywho, that I've got loads to talk about today, and then once I've spoken to you, I've got to pack up and tidy up this. And I've been in this particular office for more than 5 years, and it's a bit like moving house. Yes, it is a bit like moving house. I just know this afternoon when I go to pack up this, I'm going to be finding things that I thought I lost years ago. Yeah, look, I'm not looking forward to the packing up, but I am looking forward to the relocation. What is this relocation you speak of, Maree? I hear you say. If you have only just catching up, Skeins is on the move. Yes, we're on the move. We have rented, leased the most incredible space. I am so excited about this. We're all really, in fact, I'm probably the least excited. You want to see Claire. I mean, she is like the little Energizer bunny of movers. She is hilarious. It is so funny. We are moving. We're moving from our physical store here in Hashia Place, and we're moving the retail store and our online warehouse literally round the corner. So we're doing a dog leg around the corner from us in Onikawa here. So instead of being right in the heart of the Onikawa industrial area, we're actually moving to the fringe on Taradale Road, which, if you know Napier at all, it's actually one of the main arterials up to the expressway. So either coming into Napier or coming out of Napier, Taradale Road is one of those feeder roads off our expressway, and 102 Taradale Road, which is the corner of Taradale Road and Carnegie Road. And if you're a local, it's the old bike barn, and before that it was the old hire centre. So it's a building that is quite well known. Oh, I got all freezy there for a second, and all you saw was that was attractive. Anyway, that's where we're going, the bike barn building. Really excited about that, the old bike barn building. Virginia's just saying I'm excited too. Yes, and that's because we've lured you back, Virginia. we're excited about that as well. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be the space. Oh my Lord. I was back down there just before, and I kept looking at it thinking, how on earth are we going to fill this up? I know we will, but you get that feeling and you're like, oh! And of course we're having to move. So I'm having to get in here and move all of this. We're also having to move the warehouse downstairs. And Claire has gone through everything, and there is just a whole heap of little scrappy bits and pieces and yarn that ultimately she don't want to have to move. So if you were here over the weekend, it started on Saturday, and I know they have been absolutely pumping through the shop there today. We are having a relocation sale. So not necessarily a massive amount of depth in what's in the sale, but really, really good pricing. So again, we've still got the final of those fancy yarns going out at 99 cents. We've got a whole load of yarns at around $2, $3. Trust me, there are some amazing bargains to be had. I have also updated, actually today what I've been doing is jumping onto the sale page online, just our normal sale page, and I have been updating everything there, and Claire found this little goodie this morning, just came through from Balling first thing this morning. So if you missed out on the oyster pink, which went up on the weekend and sold out just like that, this one here is called Sky Cloud, and it's sort of like it's a soft, I don't know what to call it, whether to call it a grey white or a blue white, but it's just a very, 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 very soft colour. It's a brilliant colour if you're wanting to do baby knits and you need it to be completely neutral. It's totally, totally neutral. It is actually a second, so that's why it's out at $2.95 for a merino. So do make sure you pick this up. Apparently there's just a few, what they call, sometimes they get scuff marks coming through the dye system, but to be honest with you, if you are charity knitting or you're doing knitting, you're wanting to do a lot of knitting for babes, this is going to be amazing. So I have just loaded this up on the sale page, and it's right in that first run of yarns on the sale page. The other yarn that I've just moved up, which people necessarily haven't seen, there's two there. The images are the same, but there's a DK and a 4-ply version, and it's called Custard Cream. Now, if you are wanting a seriously good yarn and at an amazing price, that custard cream, I didn't name that, can't you tell? The alliteration is a bit much for me today, is super, super fine merino, which was I think it was an overrunner, it might have been actually a failed, a colour reject, like in the sense that the colour didn't match the sample that we were after for the client. So it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful, rich, buttermilky, light custard colour, and it is divine. It is the most buttery merino that you will ever get your hands on, and it's only $5 a ball because we've only got a certain amount of each colour, and that's it, because it's the colour didn't meet specification for the client, so I ended up with it. So if you're wanting also that yarn, again, perfect for baby knits, perfect for those with sensitive skins, and it's only $5 a ball. Believe me, that retails for more than double in Australian dollars where it actually where it's normally sold. So believe me, you are getting that at an absolute steal. So do make sure you check that out as well. Now, if you're ordering online, I really suggest that you actually jump on and do it today, because, as I said, we're moving the shop. That means we're also moving the online warehouse. So Damien's actually been madly packing orders all day. We've roped in Crystal, who's another one of our mill team. She's been down there dismantling shelves, and we're actually physically starting to move over that stock from tomorrow afternoon. So that means that all orders that go in today will get picked and packed and sent out for tomorrow, and we'll actually do one last pick in the morning as well. But once that pick is done tomorrow morning, we will not be dispatching again until we get to our new location, which is this time next week. So if you put an order in, and you order, and if it makes the cutoff, you'll get it in the normal 1 to 2 working days, which we normally do. If you don't, if it has missed that cutoff, you do give it 7 to 10 working days for it to come, because once we move over to the new location, I'm hoping that we'll be all guns a-blazing from Monday, but obviously we'll have a week's worth of backlog to catch up on. So just be a little bit patient with us as we move over, and then that's barring any technological issues, because we've actually obviously had to rewire a whole new warehouse, yada, 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 yada. I don't have to bore you with the details, but we are still having the online order opening. But if you've got something urgent that you need to get your sticky paws on now, like to finish a project or anything like that, you might want to get that order in today so you can actually get it ASAP. What else do I have on my list? What else do I have on my list? Oh, that's what I have on my list. New theme for the speakeasy. I have posted that up in the speakeasy just now, and it's called New Beginnings, which I thought was very apropos considering we're moving over to the new store. So whether it be new baby, new project, new yarn, new flowers in the garden, I really don't mind. I'll leave the interpretation of the theme up to you. But what we will be doing for a prize pack, I've been giving away 3 prize packs on that, because one of the yarns that we will be having, and I've got 2 of the 3 colours already, is we've got some new pearl yarns coming through. We've got these ones here. This is just 3 of the 4 colours. There's also a gorgeous pink that goes in this as well. This is Pearl Luster, which is a 3-ply or fingering weight yarn, if you like to use the American terminology, in that twist-on-twist construction. Recycled, absolutely stunning. And what this one is recycled with 60% Surrey alpaca. Absolutely amazing. And it's just a really beautiful, beautiful yarn. And it's just, if you're going to be knitting baby singlets or smaller projects like that, and you're wanting that finer weight yarn, shawls, heirloom shawls, heirloom blankets, this stuff is going to be absolutely the noise. So we've got that coming out once we launch into the new location. I've seen the dye labs, because they've all been dyed and they're just coming through to balling or caking, I think they were at. Black pearl, which is the new deeper shade of pearl, and also the regular pearl is coming through as well. So all the pearls will be back. Pearls before swaying, as they say, will be back once we get into the new store. So that is super exciting. And those I will be making up prize packs with the pearl to actually go together for the theme. So that's what's happening then. I have actually been doing some knitting, you would surprisingly to say. With Can, you'd think that I wouldn't, but I have actually been working on this. Oopsie. So this is the raglan I've been working on for my son, and I'm so glad that I made it extra big, because he's obviously not going to get to wear it until next winter, and he's like a teenage-sized 11-year-old. But I'm really happy with how this is knitting up. It's such a good yarn. It really is just such a neat yarn. It knits up beautifully, and it's yeah, really, really, really pleased with that. This colour, by the way, as some of you eagle-eyed would have noticed, it has been out of stock on the web. I did see that last. In fact, it can't be too far away. It will be through. Let's put it this way: by the time we get over to the new place, it'll be back. Because I know that I saw that in the dye house when we had Stephen Berg here. Now, speaking of Stephen Berg, if you were lucky last week, I put up the remaining colours of left. We did some 2 limited edition colours with Stephen, and Stephen Berg is from, otherwise known as Stephen B. He owns a huge, big, one of the most successful retail independent yarn stores in the US. He is one of the hottest properties on the US teaching circuit, and has been for many, many years. He has a background in fashion, and his superpower is he just shakes the way you think about things, and how you consider colour, look at colour, how you put yarns together, how you put teachers together. And those were the themes of the classes that he was teaching at Knit August Nights. They were absolute riotous successes. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed them, to the point that many Cannonites that missed out on those classes or took those classes and are retaking classes with him now that he's on his New Zealand tour. I think these next couple of days, I think he was heading to Central Otago today. In fact, I will look it up for you because that's the kind of girl that I am. And I know that there is only limited spaces left. I've heard, so let's see where he is today. Let's track down Stephen, shall we, people? We're on the hunt for you, Stephen. So he's just finished up in Dunedin, had 3 incredible sessions there. There we go. He's heading into, he's just been to Arrowtown. So that was yesterday, did a brioche class there, as well as Know Your Colours, Know Yourself. So that's right now he's heading off on a road trip, having a few days in Central Otago, and then he'll be heading north up to, when I say north as in heading towards Outlaw Yarn. Now, Deb tells me that she's only got a few spots left, I think, in one of her classes. So if you want to catch up with him in Christchurch, you need to get hold of Deb at Outlaw Yarn. So you can either contact her at Outlaw HQ or go to outlawyarn.com to the events section, and she's got all that information there. And as I said, I think she's only got a few classes there. And in Auckland, he is also in Auckland. Contact James around that. From what I understand, there is only again a few spaces left for the class on Monday the 9th of September, which is actually again a brioche class, and that will be at Lupine Wool Company in Parnell. So you need to, if you want to get part of that Stephen magic, you need to jump on and make sure you do that. I've posted oodles of links before, but I will put a link to James's blog, James Herbison, who's helping with Stephen's national tour and has him at the moment, and that he has all the details there of where you can make bookings and what information you need to get. So if you want to catch up with Stephen. So inspired by Stephen, as of course I got to spend a lot of time with him last week, is one of the things that Stephen is really big on is just breaking down barriers in terms of colour and how we see things. Now, I've got a pattern, and you may remember the poncho that I knitted in Albertine last year, the grey one, silver plover one, which people have been asking me because I've been wearing it. When am I going to publish the pattern? I am going to have to get round to doing that. I know I am. So I'm just actually reknitting it because if you know me well, when I knitted it and when I wrote it and when I wrote the notes, I was heavily under the influence of a lot of Chardonnay at the time. So my notes are very, very scratchy. So I'm actually just going back and re-knitting it from my scratchy notes to see how scratchy they actually were. I'm pleased to say so far so good. I'm actually doing okay. But I decided to get inspired by Stephen. So as Stephen would say, Stephen B made me do it, and he did. So I have been stash diving. So all of these are yarns that have, some of these are, can you see those in there? So that's, I mean, hold on, this one here is if you've ever, oh, look at that, hello, hello. If you've ever been in and seen those sort of funny, we call them gash hanks, which is the most unattractive name ever, but they're like a weaving hank. That's what that is. That is some super fine mohair from one of our clearances that we had, you know, a while ago. And then the rest of what's in there is a mixture of some naked skeins. That's a naked skeins DK that's been dyed up by someone else. And then, oh, that one there is a bit of homespun of mine, done on a dye trail with the wonderful Ian Kelly. Had done some fibre dye trails and gave it to me and asked me to spin it up for him. So that's what that is. And then the other two here are actually cheapy wool acrylic single funny blends that I picked up on my various travels, but I magpied them because I love the colours. So that's what's in there, in that basket. And the reason they're all in that basket like that is because of the way that this pattern is done. And as you, oh, there you go, you can actually see that quite well. So that's what I'm playing around with at the moment, pulling all of those yarns and colours together, to actually create this sort of interesting homogenized fabric. So I haven't quite, it's a work in progress, haven't quite figured out how it's going to end up completely, but it's the sort of thing that somebody like Stephen, who looks at things tangentially and shakes you, you know, it shakes that little widget in your brain that says, oh, I can only do it this way. And even though I didn't get to do a class with him, believe me, the man is completely, the energy of him is so infectious. And we spent many hours just talking about different things and getting in yarn and what inspires us and colours and breaking down the rules and understanding that, you know, there are no mistakes, there's only modifications and all of these things. And that it doesn't have to be perfect all the time, which was a really nice thing to, you know, and with your knitting, you do sometimes think, oh, it's got to be just so. And if it isn't just so, and oh, I haven't quite got enough stitches, I need to frog back. No, you don't, really. And it was for me, because again, if you know me, well, you know that I'm the world's laziest knitter. I don't count anything. I don't hardly write anything down. I modify everything. It was, yeah, for me, it was quite inspiring. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. So if I get my act together and get that finished, that means that I will actually possibly get round to publishing that pattern, which will be really nice. Last thing but not least, before I sod off and pack up my office behind me, I did notice yesterday that speaking of Stevens, that young Stephen West also put up his announcement for his mystery knit along, which is 10 years since he's been doing those. Where's time gone? I know many of you love doing the Stephen West mystery knit alongs, and I've done one or two in my time, I have to admit, and slightly tempted at this one. He's put it up, he's only uses 2 shades of yarn, so it sounds like it's going to be something quite sort of contrasty, and he's talking about using fingering or full play weight of yarn in 2 quite contrasting colors. So if you're quite tempted about that, just jump into Ravelry's Stephen West mystery knit along, and I can't remember what it was called Star something. Someone will tell me. Anyhow, the yarns, I was actually having a look and thinking about it. The sock matician yarns, particularly using either milk or baker with one other contrasting colour, would be fantastic in this project. You would probably need, based on the meterages that he suggested, definitely 2 balls of each colour, and I would suggest maybe a 3rd ball of each colour. But I know a load of you have that in your stashes already, so that, I think if you've got some of that in your stash and you've been looking for something to do, that Stephen West mystery knit along actually I think might be a really, really neat project to work on, and quite a bit of fun, because he does say in his notes not to have anything too patterned, so either to use a solid colour or something that has very, very subtle colour graduations in a hand-dyed yarn, and the sock matician is one of those. It's a very, very soft monochrome on the printed colours, and both the baker and the milk, of course, are not printed at all. So yeah, so if you're looking for a yarn, I would definitely recommend that, or the Orb Fine. I think Orb Fine, in using either the Mountain or one of those darker shades with one of the lighter ones that we have, that would be another really, really nice option as well, because it's beautiful, it's soft, stunning stitch definition. It sounds like it's project worked across a lot of garter stitch, so that looks awesome in garter stitch. So if you're looking for something for that mystery knit along and you haven't got anything lurking in the stash, that is certainly a couple of yarns that I can suggest for that. Right, I think I've covered everything on my list. Yes, tick, 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 tick. Oh, last thing. Winners, haha, I have put them up on the Skeins Speakeasy for the winners for August, but Diane Trim and Nikki Mann were our 2 winners of the $50 vouchers for August, so congratulations, ladies. I have already private messaged you with your coupon code for that, so you can get in shopping now before the pause in dispatching. But until then, I might do a little hey, we're starting to move video, and hopefully I will later in the week. But if I don't, I'm going to talk to you, fingers crossed, next Monday, this time next week, from the new store. How exciting is that? Okay, but in the meantime, you have a great week, and I will hopefully talk to you then. Until then, bye.